Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline for Pixie Dust PhD and welcome to the Month 11 Creator Update. In this video, we'll be talking a little bit about Disney news, but really more about setting expectations. I've also got a couple questions for you about the Month 12 Creator Update, and then of course we will go over the analytics for the channel. I've got some exciting news about analytics, which I found pretty surprising, so if you're into numbers, stay tuned. For anybody who's new here, hey, I'm Jacqueline. On this channel, we normally talk about Walt Disney World, Disney Vacation Club, and other Disney topics. However, once a month we do this monthly creator update video where I essentially talk about whatever I want for the bulk of the video, and then we go over the numbers for the channel at the end. These are super candid videos, unlike my normal content, which is pretty heavily scripted. Other than commenting back and forth, YouTube is not incredibly interactive, so I view these as a chance for you to get to know me a little bit better, and hopefully vice versa. If you are watching this video, since it's not a Disney-themed video strictly speaking, I assume that you generally enjoy my content, so please be sure to like this video, hit that thumbs up button, and consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. Ring that bell icon for notifications for whenever I post new videos. Before we get into the month 11 random topic, which I've selected as Disney news and expectation setting, let's actually jump ahead and talk about month 12 a little bit. It's a little bit hard to believe, but next month is month 12, meaning the vlog will turn 1 year old. Normally, I just pick whatever topic I feel like talking about during these monthly creator updates, but for next month, since it is a little bit special, I wanted to get your opinion. There are two ideas floating around in my mind. The first, which is something I actually considered doing for this month, was basically decorum, which I think is a nice way of saying I have gotten a surprising amount of hate mail and trolling, and I kind of wanted to go over what is like helpful criticism, what is useful, and what is just rude. I've actually been kicking around the idea of highlighting some of these comments in a monthly creator update video for at least 4 or 5 months now, and I just keep putting it off. Part of why I'm putting it off is because, to some extent, I don't want to give them the light of day. I know that a lot of the rude comments really just aren't valid, and it's not that they necessarily bother me, but I definitely am the kind of person where once I sort of complain about something, get it off my chest, I tend to feel a lot better. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not hung up on the comments. A vast majority actually come to my email, and then I'll read them and usually trash them and empty the trash right away, so I don't even keep receipts or anything. But I just remain surprised that since I am still a fairly small channel, I knew there would be, of course, some internet trolling, that's just how it goes, but I think that the volume of it has shocked me. It's not a huge amount, it's definitely not more than 1 a week, sometimes even I'm lucky and it's only 1 a month, but it's still just like more than I was expecting, and since this is a very raw and real type of video series, especially for you other small creators, I'm not sure if you would find that useful or if you would just feel that it was petty and I was complaining, that kind of thing. So let me know if you would be interested in that topic for the month 12 video. It would be something like feedback that I think is great, constructive criticism. I know some of you have definitely given me awesome video ideas. I really appreciate that. Versus feedback that is disparaging, a little bit rude, maybe not in the best taste, that kind of stuff. The other idea I've been kicking around is a Q&A. Ideally, the Q&A would be more focused on the channel and me, not necessarily like a Disney Vacation Club Q&A, although I could absolutely make that separate video. If you want to see a Q&A, definitely leave some questions in the comments down below, or you can hit me up on other social media platforms like Instagram and Twitter at PixieDustPhD. There are some questions that I do get pretty frequently, so I could easily put together a few of them on my own, but if you had other questions, I would definitely love to hear them. As a preview, one of the questions I get the most is, do you actually have a PhD? Which is stated in various ways. Sometimes it's totally fine, and other times it's like, you shouldn't be calling yourself Pixie Dust PhD when you don't have a PhD, when in fact I do have a PhD. This is what I mean by decorum, like some questions are fine and nice or totally neutral in tone, and some are quite accusatory, which seems uncalled for. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you would like to see for the Jacqueline Rambles portion of the month 12 creator update video. Moving on to the month 11 topic, which is some Disney news, as well as my opinion about setting expectations. So this is not a Disney news channel, we do not cover the news. There are plenty of vlogs and blogs and Twitter users, etc. that do Disney news super well, I just don't think it's the space for me. Recently, Disney announced some pretty big news that will affect your trips in 2022. So first, there will be no more Disney's Magical Express bus service. This is the bus that takes you from the MCO Orlando International Airport to your hotel and vice versa. And then second, Extra Magic Hours is effectively going away. Prior to the coronavirus pandemic, Extra Magic Hours were a time when resort guests got extra access to the parks basically, either some time in the morning before to enter early before all the other guests, or at the end of the night you were permitted extra time to stay in the parks. Extra Magic Hours also only happened at certain parks each day, so it wasn't like every park had Extra Magic Hours every day. I think usually only one park had Extra Magic Hours per day, at least recently. This is being replaced by a similar perk. Instead of Extra Magic Hours, resort guests will be able to enter any of the 4 theme parks on any day 30 minutes early. So you're losing nighttime Extra Magic Hours completely, and then the morning time is going to be less. Extra magic hours in the morning previously were definitely longer than 30 minutes, but they also were only typically offered at one park a day, whereas the new system will be 30 minutes but at every park every day. Understandably, some people are upset by the news. I know that change is very hard, and particularly with the Magic Express bus, a lot of families are pretty distraught about that. And of course you have the right to your feelings, of course you can be upset, of course change is hard, that's all super normal. What I would say is I think it's important to keep perspective in mind and also just set reasonable expectations. This is true for life in general and especially vacation. Expectations versus reality is a funny meme, but it also has real impacts on your psyche and your enjoyment of everything, basically. It's like when you go to the Cheesecake Factory and they tell you it'll be 45 minutes before you can get a table, and they seat you in 20 minutes, and suddenly you are very pleased with them. For me, for all vacations, setting up reasonable expectations before I leave for vacation is really important to make sure that I am super happy with the experience. And I know Disney World costs a lot. It is extremely, very expensive. I totally understand that. That being said, cost does not always correlate to quality. I'm not saying Disney World is gross. I love Disney World. I am a Disney adult. But are those deluxe hotels worth $600 a night? At Disney World, they can charge that because they have a stronghold on their audience. For as much complaining as Disney Parks fans do, and again, you of course have your rights to your feelings and expressing them however you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, Disney Park fans often don't really change their behavior, and capitalism responds to people's wallets. So right now is a great example where Disney parks are charging the full price for tickets even though it's less than a full experience. People are very upset about this. That being said, you're not seeing an issue with park attendance. People are still going. If Disney knows that the demand is there, they will figure out a way to make money off of that. So yes, that means that the deluxe hotels cost a ton of money, that ticket prices continuously go up, etc. And now it means that they're cutting back on free extras. If you really, truly hate it, no one is forcing you to participate. You can absolutely stay off-site and have a great time. I've done it. But just know that it would take a critical mass of Disney fans really speaking with their wallet. And by this, I mean you would have to change your behavior. No more Disney vacations, no more Disney Plus, no more Shop Disney, no more ESPN, etc. And I think it's obvious that the Disney execs know that, for the most part, some people may do that, but not enough to really hurt them. So I just go into all my Disney vacations with pretty low expectations, honestly. Compared to when I travel abroad, I think the situations are very different. I expect Disney is going to be like 3 times the hotel price that it should be. I definitely think I've stayed in some hotel rooms that cost between $180 and maybe $250 a night elsewhere, like in Chicago or New York, that are pretty much the same as those deluxe resorts in Disney World. Similarly, a $600 hotel room in San Francisco, in my opinion, gets you a lot more than a $600 room at Disney World. I tend to expect 3 times the noise. I mean, Disney World is an incredibly crowded place with a lot of families, so it's just noisy. It doesn't matter that you're paying $600 for that room, it is a noisy place. And I certainly expect to overhear a lot of adults doing things that I would consider not great. I've seen a lot of cast members get borderline berated, and when I'm able to, when it feels safe to, I do try to step in to diffuse the situation a little bit. That kind of behavior is not something I really ever see when I travel abroad, honestly. It seems to be a very specific thing that happens in America, particularly at Disney World. Many people feel super entitled to the best experience of all time when they're there because they've dropped $10,000 on this Disney World vacation. But like I said earlier, I don't think cost necessarily always correlates to quality, and you just need to temper your expectations. The reaction to the news about the Magical Express bus I found to be really over the top, if we're being honest. I think there's a solid chance that in the future Disney announces some sort of paid option instead. There's also the train that's supposed to be coming that will take you from MCO to Disney Springs. But really my question about that is for all those people who are acting like this is a total trip ruiner, what do you do when you go literally anywhere else? I really don't think it's that difficult to set up your own transportation from the airport to your hotel, whether that be a rideshare, a private car service, you get a rental car, or something else. Unless you literally only ever travel to Walt Disney World and always use the Magical Express bus, and then everywhere else you go is like within driving distance of your own home, like really is it that big of a deal that the Magical Express bus is going away? I think it's just important to have perspective about this in particular, but Disney news in general. Again, you are always entitled to your feelings, but the vast amount of complaining and whining and entitlement is pretty shocking. There's for sure a reason Disney adults have a bad reputation, and this is a prime example. While we're talking about free things going away, there's also magic bands going away. FastPass is not gone. It's gone because of the pandemic, but I would bet a lot of money that when it comes back, it will not be the same. And I think there will probably be some version of a paid version. And yes, I'm sure that will also be upsetting when it happens. But at the same time, you can choose to participate or you cannot. The other way I like to think about it is, well, if this extra money is helping keep cast members employed, then that's fine. Another change I reflect on a lot is park hours. Even before the pandemic, they were pretty short compared to not that long ago, maybe 5 or 10 years ago, when you could be in Magic Kingdom till 3 a.m. That's just not a thing anymore. And especially without those college program cast members, I don't think we're going to see longer hours for quite a long time. Given that we're in this capitalistic society, I just feel like either Disney cuts or Disney charging for things seems somewhat inevitable, and right now that seems especially true because they have the economic losses from the pandemic to fall back on. Announcing changes like this while we're in an economic upturn may feel very different PR-wise than doing it now when the parks are at reduced hours, Disneyland is still closed, all of that. I would bet Disney's been working on changes that would be ideal for them business-wise for a couple years at least. For example, having a paid version of the Magical Express would definitely be better for them. My tinfoil conspiracy hat says, well, they're taking it away now, right? You're going from free Magical Express to no Magical Express, and then wait a couple months and they'll announce a paid Magical Express, and that will make people feel much better than going from free to paid. Similarly, whenever FastPass comes back, because we've had no FastPass for quite a while due to the coronavirus pandemic, I think that'll go over better. These are definitely operational projects that people aren't just coming up with overnight, though. There's definitely been a lot of thought, economic modeling, etc. put into this for a long time. Big picture, I think it's just super incredulous to be complaining this hard about vacation. A lot of people can't even afford to go on vacation at all, much less a vacation to Walt Disney World. That's just a little food for thought from my brain. I'm sure not all of you agree with me. That's totally fine. Happy to have respectful discourse in the comments. What changes do you think are coming to Walt Disney World, and how are you going to feel about them? Have any of the changes they've made in the past really changed the way that you spend your money? Moving on, let's go over the month 11 statistics. For month 11, I pulled these analytics from December 10th through January 10th. Technically, that is 1 or 2 days longer than I normally pull analytics for. In month 11, I got over 1,800 views from 967 unique viewers. This resulted in just over 200 hours of watch time. The average view duration was over 6.5 minutes, which I am super thrilled with. This translates to an average view duration of about roughly 43%. I got over 24,000 impressions this month, with 24% being from YouTube recommending my content. And we got 34 new subscribers. So this month is the best month I've ever had, which is kind of shocking to me because last month was quite a dip compared to months prior. I really don't know what it is. Definitely that 24% of YouTube recommending my content is up quite a lot, and I think that probably helped. I also had some external traffic sources on Reddit. I'm not sure exactly where, but the YouTube analytics will tell you if your links have been posted on certain websites, and Reddit came up this month, and I don't think it's come up ever before. So if you're out there sharing my stuff on Reddit, thank you so much. In general, if you're out there sharing any of my stuff through your social media or with your friends who you think would be interested, I really genuinely do appreciate it. The number of views as well as the number of unique viewers more than doubled. Average view duration is up about 30 seconds, which makes sense to me. I did put out some longer videos this month. Sorry about that if you come here for short, concise videos. Average view percentage didn't really change compared to last month, and we did get a lot more subscribers this month than last month. 34 new subscribers in this time frame roughly equates to 1 new subscriber a day, which is super awesome. I would be ecstatic if I could keep that pace up. Moving on to lifetime stats for the channel. We are approaching 9,000 total views now. We are just over 8,800. This has resulted in almost 850 total watch hours. We're around 842 watch hours. Average view duration is up to 5 minutes and 43 seconds, which is definitely an improvement over the lifetime stats from last month. But again, the average view percentage duration is about the same. We're pretty close to 45% this month. It's like 0.5% less than it was last month for the lifetime stats last month. We are at over 100,000 total impressions now. In fact, over 110,000 total impressions, which blows my mind. I think the massive amount of impressions I got this month definitely helped with that lifetime stat. And just over 20% of those are from YouTube recommending my content. In total, there are now 236 subscribers to the channel. For other social media stats, over on Twitter, I'm following 629 accounts and 628 are following me. Over on Instagram, I'm following 240 accounts and 139 are following me. I've been pretty stagnant in Twitter numbers for a while, both the amount of people I'm following and the amount of people who are following me. It's not something that really bothers me, and I actually like following about 600 accounts. I feel like that's enough to where I can kind of keep up with my timeline, but I am making a conscious effort to try to follow more folks now. I'm going to do a little experiment and see if I can handle following more accounts and having more accounts on my timeline. If there are any Twitter or Instagram accounts you definitely think I should follow, please do let me know in the comments down below. I'm still not great at Instagram. I have been particularly bad at it recently. I've said this many times. Instagram tends to be the first thing I drop if anything starts going on in my life. I do live in the Metro Washington, D.C. area, so it's definitely been a bevy of activity here, and I've been super anxious, and I just don't feel like scrolling through Instagram if I'm honest. But back to YouTube, I'm very happy overall, I would say, especially with this month alone, was great, and then of course that helps the lifetime stats. I think it's a slow crawl for me, but I would rather stay slow and consistent than, peak and flame out really fast. I don't like being super focused on numbers because I never want to unintentionally turn into that person who is direct messaging people, spamming people, asking them to subscribe to my channel. That being said, I am going to set some goals, and it's hard to make goals that aren't number oriented for YouTube. So for 2021, my super stretch, super reach goal would be 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 236 right now, which took, 11 months to get, so at the current pace, that will not happen. For those of you who don't know, once you have 1,000 subscribers and a certain amount of watch time within the past 12 months, you can be monetized on YouTube, meaning you can make money from AdSense. So that's a pretty common goal for YouTubers to have to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. This is just a little hobby for me. I enjoy it. I like the community. I'm never expecting this to really turn into a revenue source, certainly not enough for me to quit my full-time job. But yeah, if I got $10 here or there every month, that would be fun. A more reasonable goal, I think, would be 600 or 650 subscribers, somewhere in that range. And in terms of achieving those goals, I don't think I'm going to be doing anything different. I'm just going to try to keep making quality content, putting it out consistently, and engaging with you all. That's all I had for today. Definitely let me know down in the comments below what you think about all these Walt Disney World changes. How do you set up expectations for your Walt Disney World vacations? And then if you have thoughts about what you want to see me ramble about for the month 12 creator update, please do let me know. In particular, if you want the month 12 creator update video to include a question and answer section, please do leave some questions in the comments down below about me or the channel, anything like that. Although do be patient with me, as you know, the video won't come out for another month. I hope you are all staying safe and healthy, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.